processing telemedicine, we'll be engaging with the different departments. When you are engaging with the different departments, so you will be designing a telemedicine system. So purely based on the requirements of particular applications point of view. Okay, so when you look for the teleradiology, this is one of the highest percentage the usage in telemedicine. You can look into here. So the radiology is the one of the highest the percentage of telemedicines we are using when you look for the medical application. So you can see the dermatology, cardiology, the tele-education purpose and others. So these are all the percentage wise. So when you look for the rehabilitation purpose, we are using the telemedicine aspect in the lesser percentage. Okay, so every department we can implement the telemedicine unit. So the telepathology, okay, the teleneurology and others. Okay, pediatrics, cardiovascular, oncology. So different departments we are engaging with the telemedicine. But most of the telemedicine applications, most of the percentage will be towards the radiology department. Okay, so they are using. So why the radiology? So because the radiology, we need to have the image. So the image has to be transferred from the one location to the another location. So when you look for the teleradiology, so all the images will be transferred in the medium of electronic transmissions. Okay, so when you're transmitting the images from the one location to another locations, so we'll be using that image for the further analysis, kind of interpretations, and if the patient wants to go for the consultations and all those things, so this image could be used for the purpose. Okay, so when you look for the teleradiology, we have a lot of radiology equipments, the imaging equipment. So when you want to perform the teleradiology services, so you require kind of the system which is going to be encourage you to participate in the teleradiology. Okay, so when you look for the teleradiology service, so you need to have the whatever the system you are using, the reliability of the systems, as well as the quality of the displayed images. So the quality should be there. Then whenever the image is required, so it can be access the very faster responses. Access to the image should be the very speedy one. Whenever it's the interfacing units and all those things, so GUI systems, so it will be easily accessible, easy use of things to be there. So when you look for the teleradiology, we have a lot of applications. So say example, the patient is visiting the doctor, the physician will be giving the planning for some kind of surgery and all those things. They can visualize the through the imaging modality. So the surgeon can visualize, so they can review pre and post operative the informations and all those things. Okay, so when you look for this kind of images and all those things, so they can based on the informations available on the images, they can plan for the treatment and all. Okay, so this is one of the things. So whenever it's required, they can go for the even the second opinion services and all those things. So when they are going for the second opinion services, this image can be used. So again, there is no need to go for the for the imaging techniques and all those things. So so they will be using these images for the diagnostic purposes, interpretations and all those things. So this will reduce the cost of the spending a lot of money on that, so the patient will be in the comfortable. So if this imaging modality, all those things we are using for the to get the treatments and all. So this is the purpose we are looking for the teleradiology systems. So when you look for the basic parts of the teleradiology systems, so we need to have the acquisition systems, so image acquisition systems. So we need to have the very good display sections. So we need to establish the communication networks between the two locations. then the interpretation section. So this interpretation sections will be using some kind of sophisticated softwares and all those things to have the analysis purpose. So don't think that taking the raw image will give you the detail. So the image will give you the detail, but you need to have the kind of interpretations and all those things to get the clear the scope of the image and all those. Okay, so when you look for the acquisition systems, there are the analog systems we have as well as the digital radiography systems we have. So this analog film digitizers, example is laser scanners, CCTV cameras and all those. When you look for the digital radiography, nowadays everywhere we are using like MRI CT commonly we were using with that. Okay, similarly we have like a frame graphing also from the analog outputs. So these are all the acquisition systems generalized way. So we have the lot more acquisition systems. So when you look for image acquisition and the management systems, we have the different type of radiology images, starting from the X-ray, CT, MRI, ultrasound, all those things. Okay, so this has the different resolutions, so the image resolution. So when you want to go for the image capturing and all those things, so you need to understand what is the purpose of image capturing, how that image detail will help you to treat the patient. So you need to understand. Okay, so the what kind of resolutions we'll get from the image. So once if you know the resolution, so you can have the file size. So the different file size will be based on the image resolutions we will be getting. Okay, so when you look for this file size for our purpose, telemedicine purpose, we need to know about the file size so that it will be easy for transmission purpose and all these things. So when you look for the file sizes, so definitely you'll be looking the not only the file size, you need to capturing the image, you need to adapt the kind of standard. Okay, so image should be in the standard. um, um, so in the medical purpose, when you're looking for the telemedicine purpose, so we need to adopt the DICOM version 3 standard. So this DICOM is nothing but the digital image and communication in medicine. Okay, so this is developed. This is the developed by to follow the standard everywhere. Okay, so when you are adopting the standard, say example like ISO standard, so like that, so the standard will be committee will be there, so that committee will be giving the protocol, so the protocol has to be adapted so that you're following the standard. Okay, so this ACR and NEMA, so they formed a committee. So this committee is formed in 1982. So American College of Radiology and the National Electrical Manufacturer Associations. So this committee formed and they following they frame the standard. Okay, so why they are adopting the standard? So when you are adopting the standard, so we will be looking for the uniformity. Okay, so when you're adapting, you can say that when you're adapting the uniformity, so you can say that all the images will looks will it will be having all the details. Okay, so there is no missing parameters and all this. So the starting from the size of the image, resolution of the image, everything. Okay, so this conveyed to the manufacturers and all those things, so that all the informations will be captured in the particular image. So when you're looking for the this adapting the standards and all this, why we want to adapt the standards? So because we need to have kind of the information modeling. Okay, so we need to use the information modeling. So when you want to use the information modeling of the things, so we need to adapt the standards. So we need to develop the kind of data structures. Okay, so when you look for this kind of adapting the standards and all those things, so we can connect one point to the another point. Okay, so when you're establishing the connection between one to one point, so this is not restricted here. Now we can connect with the any open system integrations also. So interconnecting with the systems. Okay, so So when they are adapting the particular standard, so we need to see that the network connectivity, we need to check that whether the particular equipments compatible is there or not. Okay, so this all will comes into the pictures here. So when you look for the adapting the standards, we need to have the client server communications model between the applications, whatever the applications we are using. Okay, so the similarly the presence level of conformance. So this level of conformance will be the minimum to the maximum level. So whatever that's happening, so because we will be encouraging to do the exchange of information. So that exchange of information will be taken care from the minimum to the maximum level. So this will give you all the information, the meaning of exchange of information. So will be detailed in the level of conformance. Similarly, we'll be adopting the compression techniques. So because we have the image, so it should be suitable for the transmission purpose. So we need to maintain the level of the image for the transmission rates and all those things. So it should be suitable for the transmission. So we'll be looking for the kind of compression techniques. When you're looking for the compression techniques, definitely the storage space requirement also will be reduced here. Okay, so we have the different techniques of compressions and all those compression techniques. So lossless compressions, lossy compressions, and all this. So when you look for the lossless compressions, we'll be recovering the original image. So no some details are missing and all those things. So we'll get the all the information. So that can be recovered in the lossless compression. When you look for the lossy compressions, so we'll be looking for the higher degrees of compressions can be achieved with that. So when you have the compression techniques, so when you're adapting, say example, you will be resizing the image so that you will be adapting the different techniques. So the example of man and the run length coding techniques and all those things. So you'll be looking for the information should be recovered whenever it's needed. Okay, so when you're looking for the image information, so we'll be eliminating sometimes redundant informations. We'll reduce the dynamic range, so that all can be taken care. So we'll be looking for the kind of quantizations techniques and all these things. So whatever the necessity the informations that can be taken here. Yeah. Okay, so encoding techniques also, this is one of the entropy encoding techniques. This is one of the lossless compression process. Okay, so this all different techniques are available. So based on our requirements, we'll be choosing. Okay, so this is the example. The chart is given here. You can look here the film size and the spatial resolution, so dynamic range. Okay, the file size. So we need to concentrate here. So this file size is without compression of the image. So once the adapting the compression techniques and all those things, so what is the file size? Okay, so with the file size you can check here. So without compression, so it's almost 33 MB. With the compression we are getting as a 1.68 MB. So we have the transfer rate speed also. So when you look for the transfer rate speeds and all those things, so without compression techniques, when you want to send the image, it's taking a lot of time. Okay, so when you're looking for the after the compression techniques, it's taking the lesser time to transfer the information. So because the file size is reduced here, so we are not losing any information. So the compression techniques is used to transfer the image in the faster way. So the transmission will take place in the faster way. So that is the reason we are looking for the compression techniques for the images and all those things. Transmission also will take place for the several images. So this is one of the. Then the another important area we need to concentrate when you're looking for the display system, the teleradiology, the display systems. How the the visual perceptions and all those things. So how the image quality, so that has to be whether the its ability to show the exact image. So that is very very important. So when you look for the conventional or laser films and all this, because so this we are going for the advanced systems techniques here. So it should be compared with the traditional one. So laser flame, laser film as well as the conventional one and all this. So when you look for the display systems, we need to have the kind of fidelity is evaluated by the what are the parameters: availability, luminance, dynamic range, resolution, noise. So this all comes into the pictures. So when you're evaluating that, similarly we need to have the informativeness on the required places, area of interest. Okay, so here the required places, say example, you are taking the picture of the bone fracture or something. So you need to look for the area of interest. That area of interest should be visible. It should be given the detailed informative to get that features and all those things. So that will lead to the diagnostic of the important features and all those things. Okay, so that we'll find the what is the abnormality and all. So for detectability of the specific abnormality. So this all has to be taken from the particular image. Similarly, we need to have the attractiveness. So for the particular pictures or all. Okay. So all the information should be available, so that it can be taken for the further analysis, interpretations and all those things. The very important thing is the image size as well as the pixel range. Okay, so it should be with the very good visual perceptions with in display systems. So how a very sophisticated device you want to acquire the image, similarly you need to have the sophisticated system to display also. That is also, it's a very very important thing. Similarly, we need to have the communication networks, so which is going to establish the communication between the 2 points. So we are going to send all the images through this communication network. Okay, so we need to send, we need to receive. So the number of files. So what kind of the files we are sending, the size of the files also, it's very very important. So when you are sending, it's with the network, so we need to look for the traffic in the networks and all this. Okay, so when you're looking for the establishing the communication networks and all those things, so we need to look for the how much the cost involvement, what kind of benefit we'll be getting from the network and all those things. So because example, we are using the 4G network right now, so it's a little costlier, but it's a efficient one. We can send all the images in the, so we can have in the network, so within the fraction of seconds, so we'll be transferring the images and all those things we are getting. So similarly, we need to have the interpretation section. So this interpretation sections will have the sophisticated software modules and all those things. So because we will be taking them the images and all those things. So this images will be taking for the kind of interpretations. Okay, so when you're looking for the interpretations, you need to take the information from out of that. So where the abnormalities, the area of interest, you will be selecting, and you will be taking the information on that. So you'll be looking for the annotations, capabilities. So about the data, patient history has to be mentioned. So you need to have active windowing, compression facilities, images should have the compression facilities and other things. So you will be looking for the when you are transferring, you will be looking for the kind of secured protocols to send the images and receive the images and other things. Okay, so we'll be using the windowing techniques and other things. So we have the image, so we will be manipulating the image information, so with the image windows and others. So whatever the requirement is there, based on the requirements we will be choosing. So the interpretation sections also, it's very very important. So you need to have this with the raw image, nothing can be done. So you need to have the interpretation section. So you will be analyzing with the data, the area parameter will be an area of interest. You will be choosing and you will be exploring it for the interpretation techniques. So kind of analysis you will be taking. Okay. So this is the entire mobile telemedicine unit. So you can see that the various communication options we have here, starting from the telephone line modem, CDMA technology, we have GSM technology. It's commonly used. Everybody is using the GSM technology in mobile phone and all these things. Then fiber optic cable switch. Okay. So we have all the facilities which is connected. We have the radio transceivers also. So all those things which is connected with the communication manager. So this communication manager will be integrated with the telemedicine orbiter. So in the telemedicine orbiter, we will be connecting the different sophisticated biomedical equipments, starting from the ECG machine, BP machine, so even the CCTV camera. So all the things will be connected here. So whenever the patient is coming, so if the patient we want to record the ECG, so we'll be recording the ECG and it will be transferring through the telemedicine orbiter. So the communication will manager will take place all the information. So it will be transferred to the one location to another location. So when you're looking for this and the receiver end, so we'll be receiving the information. So then the communication manager will be giving to the personal computer of the doctor. So this doctor unit will be there. So from here, so they will be taking all the information. So they will be analyzing and they will be giving kind of the treatment initiated for the treatment and all this. So this is the entire mobile telemedicine. So this is a generalized block diagram. This can be used for the any purpose. Okay. So when you look for the kind of interacting with the modules, the one the nodal center to the referral centers. So we need to have the very good software modules. So when you look for the software modules, we have like two different sections. One is the offline activities, other one is the online activities. So offline activities, it comes into the store and forward method. So online activities, both the end should be encouraged to get the information. Okay. So this is the first one, offline modules we have. So we have the nodal centers. Everybody knows about the nodal centers and the referral centers. So in the nodal centers, we will be having the data acquisition systems. Then in the data acquisition system, we will be using the different the different equipments to get all the, say example, ECG machine we have. So this ECG machines will be acquiring all the information. So this information will be stored in the local database. So this in the local database, it will be stored whenever the patient is coming. So we will be taking all the information. It will be stored in the local database. Then all the informations will be taken for the transmission. So before transmission, so they will be looking for the data encryptions and all those things. Then you will be sending the information. So on the at the end of referral centers, we will be receiving all the information. So the information will be decrypted and data distributor will be done. So all the informations will be stored in the master database. So when you look for the data, this also available in the master database. Okay, so then it is given to the patient data browser. So using that, so the interface will be enabled, so the doctor can see all the information about the patients on the machine. So this master database can be accessed from the other primary health centers also. Whenever it's needed, they can be checking with her. Okay, you understand? So this is a offline module. So when you look for the here, the patient will be coming in the different timings. Doctor can see in the different timings. So there is no need to both the parties should be available at the same time. When you look for the online module, so both the people should be available. So we need to have the video conferencing system. Through the video conferencing systems, we will be establishing the connection between the patient and the doctor. So when the patient is coming to the nodal center, so the data acquisition pass will take place. So which is connected with the online sessions coordinator. and communicator. So this online session coordinator and communicator will give you all information. Whatever the data acquisition takes place will be stored in the local database. Okay, if it is required. Otherwise, all the informations will be connected through the secured communication channels. So here on the referral centers, we have the another session coordinator, online session coordinator, and a communicator. So we'll be connected with the doctors. So through the video conferencing, we are establishing connection between the video conferencing between the doctors and the patient. So both at the same time, during the time, so both the patients as well as the doctor should be visible, available in the video conferencing system, so that the information is here. Also we will be storing the information in the local database as well as the master database for the further retrieval whenever it's needed. Okay, so this is the online module. So this is also generalized system, so we can use for the several application. So when you look for the data, so we will be looking for the patient information, all the patient personal information, medical information of the patients. So how the patient is given the schedule for the telemedicine. So all those things can be taken. Information related to the doctors, information related to the system management, all information will be taken as a data. So this all data is very, very important. So when you look for the employment generation, so you can extension of the existing services with the several sectors. So who are those who are involved in the telemedicine practice. So we have like a nodal centers and referral centers. When you look for the nodal centers, so we'll be having the general physician. Several times I repeated, we will be having the general physicians in the nodal end. So we have the system administrator as well as the data entry operator and all this. We have the establishing the connections, so the kind of studio technicians and all. When you look for the referral end, we have the specialized doctors. Okay, so we have the system administrator and studio technicians. In the nodal centers, we will be having all the sophisticated devices to get the physiological signals and things needed. So this is a nodal end as well as a referral end. So definitely we will be looking for some standards. So we will be using the HL 7 as well as the DICOM standards we'll be using. So whatever the information you are transferring, so you need to ensure the security of the information will be secured, as well as the legal and the ethical issues already resolved. Okay, so when you look for the patient personal information, definitely the patient ID, unique ID will be generated about the patient name as well as age, whatever the gender, the male or female, all those things has to be taken. Patient medical information. So this is very, very important. So when you look for the patient medical information, it can be the textual. So when you look for the textual information, so you'll be having the plain text or the standard document. So I'll be showing that in the later stage. So the medical information will have the kind of images of the like a report. Okay, so the graphics, video, or vector informations. So this all will be the medical informations we'll be talking about the patient. So this all information is very, very important. Once this all information if we have, so we can plan for the